You're listening to the Three Pillars of Success, a podcast that inspires people of all walks of life to gain perspective on what it means to succeed. My name is Geraldine Convento, and I'm best known for entrepreneurship, my skills in web presence, and SEO. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Hey y'all, how you doing? It's me, Geraldine Convento, your host for the Three Pillars of Success podcast, and I'm very excited to have Akanke from Claim Your Shiro and Self Mastery Academy. Hey, Akanke.
Hi, Geraldine. It's good to be with you. Super excited to chat today.
Me too. Well, the questions are pretty simple. We always ask everyone the exact same questions, and we're dying to know what your answers are. So before we get started, who are you, where are you from, and what do you do for a living?
I am Akanke Adefunmi, and I am from the East Coast, but right now I live in Northern California. And I am a business leadership coach, and I work with female entrepreneurs who are struggling with things like team leadership, confidence, visibility, and performance.
Awesome. So what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Well, right now, what I'm doing for fun is I'm hiking. I started hiking several months ago, and I absolutely love it. I've been trail running, so I just bought myself some fancy trail running shoes.
Okay, look at you.
Yeah. And I also joined this local wine tasting room here in Alameda. And I go there and have wine and listen to jazz a couple of days a week.
Sweet. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to get into the questions. So the first one is, what does success mean to you?
Yeah. This is a great question. I was thinking of like all the ways that success really how I interpret it. And so I came up with several. So let's see if, based on how much time we have, how many we can get to it. So one, success means doing work that I love, doing work that's in my genius zone. That's what success means for me. Waking up and saying, oh my God, I'm getting to do the work that I'm born to do. Success also means sleeping through the night and not waking up worried about the business or worried about my kids or life or what have you, but like really having a great night's sleep consistently. But the other thing that I feel success, what it means for me is staying connected to the people that matter most to me, really staying connected and engaged. That could be family, that's friends, that's people in my spiritual center. So really staying connected to the people that matter most to me. That is success for me. And then I was also like, okay, what else, right? So I think when I feel most successful, it's when I'm noticing my stuff, my own stuff, right? When I'm kind of getting in my own way. So I feel successful when I notice my stuff. Then I start doing the work to transform that stuff, right? To make the change. And then I start seeing evidence of that transformation. So it's really at the end of the day is noticing my stuff and then seeing how I have changed because I have been intentional about changing a habit or changing a behavior, or I'm showing up better in my relationships. I'm taking better care of my body. So it's really comes to really being in this place where, oh, Akanke, I see what you're doing. You're doing that thing again, and then doing the work and then seeing the transformation. Like that, I feel like that is like ultimate success for me, knowing that I have changed. Yeah.
I love that because you have such a holistic approach to what success means. There was the relationships, there was the family, there was the sleep, there was everything, all the things. So thank you for that. And as you know, this show was called Three Pillars of Success. So we would love to know, what are your three pillars? And if you can give a little description to go along with each one of them too, that would be awesome.
Yes. So my three pillars of success. Well, Geraldine, one of them is self-mastery. And what self-mastery means to me means exercising authority over your mindset, over your behaviors, your habits, your decision making, and your actions. Because I believe that until we can master ourselves, then we just end up struggling through life, through business, right? So self mastery is definitely one of my pillars. And the other one is alignment. And let me talk a little bit about alignment. When I say alignment, I'm talking about being aligned with your values, what really matters to you, right? Being aligned with your vision. What's the vision that you have for your business or your career or your life? What is that vision? How are you aligned with it? It also means alignment with your purpose. What is the bigger reason that behind what it is that you are doing, or the bigger reason behind your career or your business, or your commitment, right? It could be that. Ultimately, at the end of the day, all of this boils down to spiritual alignment, right? Because we can talk about our vision, our values, our purpose, and all that, and it all kind of just narrows in, and it's spiritual alignment. When I am feeling just like some sense of struggle, I'm not feeling like myself, I'm not centered, it's often because I'm not aligned in one particular area. So alignment is number 2 for me. And even though I say number 2, it's not like they go in this order, right? And so the third one is faith. Faith. And to me, faith is trusting that I'm not alone in the world, trusting that I'm not alone in my business, trusting that life is rigged in my favor, right? That's what Rumi said. And faith that things will either work out well, or I'm going to learn or grow from something. So faith, I think, I am an entrepreneur and I work with entrepreneurs. And to me, you can't be an entrepreneur without faith, right? You have to have both of them, because we don't know how things are going to turn out. And so we're consistently taking risks, stepping outside of our comfort zones. And so we have to have faith in something bigger than we are, right? It could be faith in spirit, in God. It could be faith in a cause. It could be faith in something and a community. But faith is so, so, so important, because we don't have crystal balls, right? And every day that we get in our car, we're driving on faith that we're going to get to our destination whole and healthy and safe. So those are my 3, right? So self-mastery, alignment, and faith. Yeah.
Yeah, so inspiring. And I'm so glad that you talked about alignment, because for me personally, anytime I think about you, anytime I think about the success that I have achieved in my career, it's always attributed to the fact that you helped me figure out what my values are and how to align that with everything in my life, not only my business, which is what I hired you for, it's also for my interpersonal relationships, for my health, for what I do from a day-to-day basis. It was everything to me. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. It's so important.
I think, sometimes people can go through life or, have an idea for a business or design their business or their careers to be a certain way, and eventually find out that they're not fulfilled. They're not happy. They don't feel grounded in this. They're doing work that isn't that satisfying. And it's because they're out of alignment in some area, right? Vision, values, purpose, some spiritual alignment is off. And so it's critical.
Yeah. And speaking of being off, I'm sure that at some point in your journey, you must have faced some sort of roadblocks. So what's a roadblock that you had in your path to success?
What roadblock? Just one? I just get to choose one?
You can say more if you want.
Because let me tell you, sister, I've had a few. But the 2 that I'll talk about, 2 that come to mind. Roadblocks that I've had have to do with myself. my self-sabotaging patterns, right? Me and the way that that would show up for me, the way that I would sabotage myself, I would sabotage my business, and I would sabotage relationships. The way that it showed up was that, one, I can be distracted by shiny things, right? I had a tendency to be inconsistent, and I used to avoid things that were unpleasant, right? I avoided if I had this idea that something wasn't going to be cool, it wasn't going to be fun, whether that was a conversation with a friend or whether that was a presentation I was about to do, or I'm writing a social media post and these ideas come to me and I'm like, oh, this is going to be boring. What do you have to say? This is not going to be interesting. So, I used to have this mind chatter that was like, oh, this is going to be hard. And so I would avoid doing things. So that also contributed to my inconsistency. And so over the years, I've been learning to master these parts, because for my life, for my business, for me to show up as the woman that I want to be, I have to really be conscious about how I'm showing up, what self-sabotaging ways may be showing up that, maybe they kind of snuck in there a little bit. And so the roadblocks for me have been really my own kind of self-sabotaging patterns. And that's why I do work around self-mastery, because I've had to master these things about myself, and I'm still mastering it, right? Because when we get to one stage of mastery, another opportunity to master ourselves shows up. And so over the years, I've gotten so much better in these areas. I attribute that to self-mastery. And then the last thing I'll say is the other thing that will get in my way, again, the inner stuff. Once upon a time, I believed that my genius zone, the work that I really want to do in the world, wasn't enough, wasn't good enough. Like no one wants to be coached in that area. Entrepreneurs just care about tactics and strategy. This self-mastery stuff, nobody cares. Nobody's going to buy that. So I didn't believe in what I felt really called to do. So those have been roadblocks in the past that I've had to overcome. And in some of those areas, I'm still working to master it on a whole other level.
A lot of the things that you said and how you're still working on your self-mastery, I totally wouldn't even know. Like when I think of you, I think like someone who's really solid, structured, got it together. But I get it. We're all human. And there are things that we always have to work on.
Mm-hmm. Always have stuff to work on, girl. I like to say that my life is a workshop, is a constant workshop. What are we working on today, Akanke?
That's awesome. So what advice would you give to anyone that's looking to achieve success in their life?
A few things. One, I would say go deep to find out what success really looks like for you, right? What does it look like for you versus what someone else has told you success should be? You don't want it to be somebody else's agenda or idea for success. I've worked with a lot of mentors in the past who were coaching me to success the way that they thought success was supposed to looks like. And I got to a place where I was like, you know what? That's not really successful. That's not for me. So really dive deep and find out what success truly looks like for you. And really on a soul deep level, ask yourself, what does that look like? And then I would also say faith, right? You got to have faith in something bigger than yourself. You have to have faith in something bigger than yourself, because that's going to be your driving force, your fuel, your motivation in those times when life throws you a curveball, and things start to get kind of hectic. You really have to have that faith in something bigger than yourself, right? And then lastly, I'll say, make sure that you're having fun. Make sure that you're having fun along the way, because life is unpredictable. And if you're like me and you're an entrepreneur, sometimes the business can kind of take over your life. So make sure that you're having fun along the way. All righty? Yeah.
Yes. Holistic advice, just as I expected you to give. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is the 3 Pillars of Success. We broadcast every single Wednesday on YouTube, Spotify, and all the places that you listen to podcasts. So thank you so much for Akanke for being on this show. And we look forward to communicating with y'all next Wednesday. Bye-bye.